about it when I see you again. Whoa! Okay, it's Monday. It's Monday, March 25th. It's the last week of March. It is Women's History Month. We're gonna learn about a lady. Her name is Mary Curie. Okay. And then we're gonna see about any question. Well, in class, we're gonna talk about math connections. Any questions? If y'all got questions, y'all gotta go back to last week's video because I put all the answers. I walked through everything. Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. And then we'll look at the CER pinball and start checking that out. Okay, cool. So just so you guys know, spring break is between Thursday, so that's this Thursday coming up. So we got 3 days. I got you for 3 days, okay? So all I got you for is 3 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday you out. You know what I mean? And then then you have the whole week off like normal after Easter, and then still you got an extra day. So that Monday you do not have to come to class. Yeah. And then when we come back, just so you guys know, state testing will begin. Not for this class, but state testing as a whole, okay? As a whole will begin. And I think it's like math, and then I think it's ELA, reading, writing, like whatever, and science we're the last. So we're not until May. So don't trip out. I have a whole week scheduled to plan and prep you guys for that. And it's just really refreshing some information that maybe you forgot, some things like that. So it should be good, not a problem. And kind of run through a little bit of the periodic table and things like that. I know we kind of talked about that already, but I am planning to do it the week before and when I say we, I mean science. But you guys in general, right, will start taking your first state test when we come back from spring break. So get your minds right. Okay. How was your weekend? Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had an awesome weekend. I got to see my daughter run in the rain, and you know what? If I would have thought about it, I would have spliced that video into here. Maybe I'll try and do it in the post editing. We'll see. Other than that, that was most of my weekend. I didn't want to grade, so I woke up this morning at 3:30 and started grading. Yeah. People are like, you woke up at 3:30? Yes, I did. So check Aries, okay? All right, moving on. This is what I need you to do. Where are we at? Yeah, go to the next thing. Okay, cool. Let me go over here and just say like this. Write her name down to Marie Curie. Write her name down inside of your journal, and then you need to write down 3 obstacles from the video we're about to watch, and then you also need to write down 3 achievements from the video that we are about to watch. So let's get it. I'm gonna put myself right there in the corner, and then we go. And then away we go. Let me turn up.
If you want a glimpse of Marie Curie's manuscripts, you'll have to sign a waiver and put on protective gear to shield yourself from radiation contamination. Madame Curie's remains, too, were interred in a lead-lined coffin, keeping the radiation that was the heart of her research, and likely the cause of her death, well contained. Growing up in Warsaw, in Russian-occupied Poland, the young Marie, originally named Maria Skłodowska, was a brilliant student, but she faced some challenging barriers. As a woman, she was barred from pursuing higher education, so, in an act of defiance, Marie enrolled in the Floating University, a secret institution that provided clandestine education to Polish youth. By saving money and working as a governess and tutor, she eventually was able to move to Paris to study at the reputed Sorbonne. There, Marie earned both a physics and mathematics degree, surviving largely on bread and tea and sometimes fainting from near starvation. In Paris, Marie met the physicist Pierre Curie, who shared his lab and his heart with her. But she longed to be back in Poland. Upon her return to Warsaw, though, she found that securing an academic position as a woman remained a challenge. All was not lost. Back in Paris, the lovelorn Pierre was waiting, and the pair quickly married and became a formidable scientific team. Another physicist's work sparked Marie Curie's interest. In 1896, Henri Becquerel discovered that uranium spontaneously emitted a mysterious X-ray-like radiation that could interact with photographic film. Curie soon found that the element thorium emitted similar radiation. Most importantly, the strength of the radiation depended solely on the element's quantity and was not affected by physical or chemical changes. This led her to conclude that radiation was coming from something fundamental within the atoms of each element. The idea was radical and helped to disprove the long-standing model of atoms as indivisible objects. Next, by focusing on a super radioactive ore called pitchblende, the Curies realized that uranium alone couldn't be creating all the radiation. So, were there other radioactive elements that might be responsible?
Oh, that makes sense.
In 1898, they reported 2 new elements: polonium, named for Marie's native Poland, and radium, the Latin word for ray. They also coined the term radioactivity along the way.
Wow.
By 1902, the Curies had extracted 1/10 of a gram of pure radium chloride salt from several tons of pitchblende, an incredible feat at the time. Later that year, Pierre Curie and Henri Becquerel were nominated for the Nobel Prize in Physics, but Marie was overlooked. Pierre took a stand in support of his wife's well-earned recognition. And so both of the Curies and Becquerel shared the 1903 Nobel Prize,
That's what's up.
making Marie Curie the first female Nobel laureate.
Let's go.
Well-funded and well-respected, the Curies were on a roll. But tragedy struck in 1906 when Pierre was crushed by a horse-drawn cart as he crossed a busy intersection. Marie, devastated, immersed herself in her research and took over Pierre's teaching position at the Sorbonne, becoming the school's first female professor. Her solo work was fruitful. In 1911, she won yet another Nobel, time in chemistry for her earlier discovery of radium and polonium, and her extraction and analysis of pure radium and its compounds.
Let's go.
This made her the first, and to this date only, person to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. Professor Curie put her discoveries to work, changing the landscape of medical research and treatments. She opened mobile radiology units during World War I and investigated radiation's effects on tumors. However, these benefits to humanity may have come at a high personal cost. Curie died in 1934 of a bone marrow disease, which many today think was caused by her radiation exposure. Marie Curie's revolutionary research laid the groundwork for our understanding of physics and chemistry, blazing trails in oncology, technology, medicine, and nuclear physics, to name a few.
That's wild.
For good or ill, her discoveries in radiation launched a new era, unearthing some of science's greatest secrets.
Hey, she did a lot. Her whole life seemed like it could be a movie. Because I'm like, boy, first of all, she's radioactive to this day. That's why she's in a lead-lined coffin. All her work, you know what I mean? Like, that's just... What is this? Oh, my gosh. This whole thing. I have no idea if you can see me or not, but don't worry about that. So, just follow the mouse. So, obviously, a few things that she overcome was, one, because of the fact that she was a woman, it was hard to go to higher education. She had to actually end up leaving the country to be able to basically go to the university. And then once she got to university, there was low food. So she was actually on the verge of starvation, having some physical issues there. Obviously, there's the overcoming the thing with her husband, and then also this idea of not getting the credit. But thankfully, her husband actually stood up for her. And think about this. She's the only person that has won 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. Wild times, right? So really awesome and things that she achieved and didn't let obstacles hold her down. She continued to push forward, and we're all better off for it, for her discoveries. And even though her country didn't fully support her as a woman, she still named one of her one of her elements after them, which is totally awesome. So I think we got that right here. Polonium, and then radium, and this is these forerunners to the starting the development of X-ray and X-ray machines, right? Let's just keep it moving here. So I am not going to go over all of this right here, but what I am going to say is that you need to get the math connections, and again, those videos are back there. I will see if I can link them in the comments. If not, they are in this playlist. Go back to Wednesday and Thursday. All right. Make sure you got all these things done. There's actually not much else that I'm going to talk about today in this lesson. I don't even know if you can see me, but I do want you to take time to look in Canvas, look in Aries, look in your Gmail, make sure everything is good, and really actually look, because I have some students who just are not looking, and then they're wondering why things are happening. Well, it's because you're not checking your grades and staying up to date to see like, oh, well, and then if something in Aries is not there, go to Canvas and look to see like what happened. I usually leave very specific comments as to what's going on. Like someone was asking me earlier today, and it's because they turned in their rough draft of their CER that we did like a week or two, that we did like 2 weeks ago, and they turned it in as their assignment for last week. Well, that's why it's missing. Someone else turned in their math homework. Yeah, well, that's why it's missing. And I state that in the comments. So make sure that you guys are going and looking at those, okay? Nope, we're gonna move forward. So we do have the CER. It is gonna end up being due on Wednesday, so that is the last day before we leave. We will have a work day for it tomorrow. So I think what I'm gonna do is just end the video here, and then we will start on the CER, and we'll talk about the CER tomorrow. That's what I think we're gonna end up doing. All right, y'all. Peace.